Hi, Miss Murphy. I have the drafts of the documents you had asked me to prepare. It is in regards to Miss Cindy Lund and Mr. Bradley Harris and the company that they're trying to incorporate called Cutting Edge Computer Repair Incorporated. I was going to first show you the cover letter. I've addressed it to both of the clients with the subject as the company's name. I'm telling them that enclosed are the drafts of the copies of the Articles of Incorporation, the Certificate of Registration in Mississippi, and the bylaws of Cutting Edge Computer Repair Incorporated. I also let them know what the amount of the filing fees are, just so there is no confusion of that. And then your signature, of course, is needed, so we can send that off. The first documents I was going to show you is the charter. So I went to the Secretary of State's website and got the instructions of the charter for for-profit corporation, and right here it told me the filing fee. When I scrolled down, I saw that it was under this statute, so I went to Westlaw and went under there, and it was talking about how I needed the corporate name, or what I must set forth: the name, the number of shares, the registered office and the registered agent, the name and address of each incorporator, the street address of the principal office, the required information from Chapter 16, which is the shares of each class to issue, and then a statement that the corporation is for profit, and then the rest is just what it may set forth. So getting back to that document, I wanted to say that I included the name right here and checked all the requirements, and it checks out. The number of shares to issue is right here as well. And then the registered office and the registered agent is right here, number 3. And then number 4 is the name and address of each incorporator, which is Miss Lund and Mr. Harris. Number 5 is the address of the principal office in Tennessee. Number 6 is the information from the Chapter 16 that we were talking about. And the purpose, which is, well, this isn't exactly Chapter 16. I would guess that number 2 is the Chapter 16 because of the stock with the no par value and the unlimited voting rights and everything. Anyways, I wanted to show you in that number 6 that I included the purposes of the corporation, which is, you don't have to have that in there, but it was, I can put that in. And then number 7 is the corporation is for profit, and then just the signature page for both of them and to be dated, and we could go ahead and get that set up. The next document is the bylaws of the Cutting Edge Computer Repair Incorporated. So for this too, I went under Westlaw and looked at this statute for the Tennessee bylaws. It contains anything not inconsistent with the law or put in the charter, and so if there's anything that they wanted to change, we really need to do it in the bylaws, because it says right here that the bylaws are basically the laws of the corporation. But you know, you put anything in here that you can't put into the charter. So let me go through that with you. I've got the name right here, the annual meetings of the stockholders, and we needed to get with the clients and choose a time and a day out of the month of each year to set for the annual meetings. And they can read over that. The special meetings of stockholders is Article 3. This talks about how they can hold special meetings if a meeting was missed, or how they can get the meeting done and everything. Article 4 is action taken without a meeting. This goes into how something can be done about the corporation, the action taken, but not holding a meeting before doing the action. Or, how they can talk about it before doing it or vote on it. Article 5 is the notice of stockholders meetings. This is clear that you cannot send out the notice of a meeting fewer than 10 days of the meeting, and you can't send the notice 2 months before the meeting date. Because people will probably forget that if you tell them a date 2 months ahead. So that just wouldn't be fair. The Article 6 is the waiver of the notice of the stockholders meeting and how it may be waived by such stockholder in writing. So if they should read over that and really get to the basics, because that sets the law of waiving stuff in this corporation. The record date and stockholders list. This can be helpful to them, so they should really look over that. It talks about the record date for determining stockholders entitled to demand the special meeting. Just goes really into that. The Article 8 is the voting of stock and proxies. Just unless otherwise stated in the charter, each outstanding share of stock, regardless of class, is entitled to one vote on each matter voted on at a stockholders meeting. So only shares of stock are entitled to vote. Article 9 is the quorum and voting requirements. I can read on about that. Article 10 is the board of directors. It just talks about the corporate powers and how it's under the control of the board of directors and everything that they do. And then when they can be voted on and voted off. The meetings of directors are the board of directors hold an annual meeting right after the stockholders hold their annual meeting. So I guess they can get together and really discuss what all the stockholders want or what was discussed during their meeting. They can get together and really make a big decision. Article 12 is officers. This talks about how the chief executive officer, or there is a chief executive officer, a chief financial officer, and a secretary. And that the board of directors can appoint other officers or agents if they want to. Gives them that authority. The Article 13 is the chief executive officer. This goes into, what that person's in charge of, what they should be doing. The Article 14 is what goes into what the secretary should be doing. And it also states that if anything were to happen to the executive officer, that the secretary would basically become in charge. So that's important to read over as well. The Article 15 is the resigning and removals of officers or directors. So that's really important to look at as well. Article 16 are the certificates of stock. How every stockholder shall be entitled to a certificate of the capital stock or of the corporation. Article 17 is the transfer of stock. This is really important, unless it's otherwise stated in the charter. But the transfer of stock is basically accompanied either with an assignment in writing on the back of the certificate or with a written power of attorney to sell. So it seems pretty easy. You can just hand them the certificate with a signature on the back. Article 18 is a loss of certificates. If you lose or, anything, your dog eats your certificate. You just ask the chief executive officer, and he can prescribe you a new one. The corporation has no seal. That's Article 19. And Article 20 is the amendment of bylaws, saying that the bylaws can be amended, changed, modified, however they feel. But it has to be a majority vote of the shares of stock represented. So one person can't make that decision. We'll get them to read that over. If they like it, they'll sign it. If they don't, we'll change it and date it. And then the last document I have for them is the application for the out-of-state registration or the certificate. So I was sure to check the business name, and it says the name is available, which is great. We don't have a problem with that. The business details, the state of incorporation is Tennessee. The code is for the computer and office machine repair and maintenance. I have the principal office. This should be changed to Tennessee. I will change that. And I wanted to show you that you have to have a registered agent within that state and a registered office in that state. So I just found a commercial registered agent, which is the CT corporation system, and they gave us all this to go by. So we should be able to just get one of their signatures at least and be able to sign this and go forward. And if they agree to everything, then we can just get all the documents signed and send it on. So let me know if I can make any changes, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you very much, Miss Harris.